Hello, and welcome back to yet another part of Let's Play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. In the last episode, we took out Frankenstein's monster, and we're making our way into the long library. And come back here. I'm really hoping one of those schmoos drops the weapon I'm talking about. But you know what? If they don't, I've played this game many times. Without that weapon, I don't need it. Is that like a crack in the floor right there, or is that just artwork? Okay, that's just game art. I've beaten this game without it. I've never actually picked up the weapon, but you know what? If it's there, if I can get it, I mean, I'm obviously not going to say no to like a super powerful weapon. But, you know, it's okay without. But when I was talking about college stuff, oh my god, but... No, whenever that came out, like, that's all we cared about, and, I mean, we all still went to classes and stuff, but my first year of college was honestly one of my best, because we did so much during that time. Like, one of the big things that we had, and I remember this whenever we would go on trips for marching band whenever I was in school, and we'd always go to a marching festival at the college I was at, and during that time, that was around the time when the campus put on Humans vs. Zombies, which was super fun. You had to sign up, you got to choose which side you were on. Like, everyone started out as a human, but you could sign up if you wanted to be an original zombie. I didn't, and they stopped doing it after my first year, which, super sad. Super sad. Because it was so much fun, like, y'all wouldn't believe it. And if y'all ever been to a, like, I don't know if I'd enjoy it so much now that, you know, I'm a lot older, but back then, I can tell you, it was one of the most fun things we ever did. So what it was that a grammatically correct sentence? Was? I actually don't know. Okay, so I came this way. No. I hate schmooze. Come back. Okay, no weapon. And I could stay here forever and just grind ghosts and try to get the weapon, but honestly, I don't have the patience. The only time I've ever tried grinding for a weapon was in Earthbound, whenever I tried to get the Sword of Kings. And if you know anything about that game, well, you understand that that is a grind and a half trying to get that weapon. And okay, that was... I feel very disrespected in this game. I'm not gonna lie. I feel very, very disrespected. But if y'all know anything about the game Earthbound, grinding to get the Sword of Kings, oh my god, I've never grinded for a weapon or anything in a game, and Earthbound was like my first RPG, kind of. I think, like, my first, like, traditional RPG, even though it's not really a traditional RPG. But I remember just that grind and how hard it was. And it's not only that it was hard, it just took forever. Like, it took me so many hours, and I remember, and I was just playing there, and I did this recently, like, I did this within the last year, because I remember because I did it in the last year, and I was even playing the game, like, at work on my breaks, because, I mean, I have a decent break at my job, surprisingly. My schedule worked out that I actually have, at work, I have to travel between two schools and teach kids, and it turns out that it all worked out that my travel time, I get an hour for travel time, and that's also like my lunch hour, but then I have my planning hour, I think, after, so I can get work done and stuff in my classroom. And the thing about my job, which I'm happy about, and other teachers don't have it as easy as I do in this one, but I'm very thankful for the fact that my job is, okay, I'm not going to mess with that at this very second. We're going to come here. I believe there. And there we go. We have the dim sum set. But I don't think my job as like a music teacher, it's pretty simple with the fact that once the kid, if the kids aren't in the room, then I don't have a whole lot that I really need to do. Because I don't have as much paperwork to do. I don't have as much extra stuff, which, again, I'm very thankful for. Doesn't mean I don't put the best effort into my job. I just can do it. I can work smarter, not harder. Okay, you want to make sure you take those guys out quickly before they hit you, just because they will hurt you. You will hurt, and you're just stun locked in their attack, and it'll definitely take a lot out of you. And I'd like to avoid that if however possible. But like I was saying, I'm pretty fortunate in that regard, just because I don't have a lot of stuff, and I was able to just use that time to like play Earthbound, and I would spend my time grinding, and it took me days to grind up to get the weapon. See what I mean? I got hit by that 121 damage. That is yikes on just, that is a yikes moment. Oh my god. I can hold it till the next save stop. It's not too far away. So we're going to keep making our way. And remember, like I said, this is all very similar. This is actually all the castle was before. But, oh my god, what was I talking about before? I just got on this rant about Earthbound, but I was talking about something else. Plants vs. Zombies. No, not Plants vs. Zombies. My wife loves Plants vs. Zombies, and she's got the Sunflower song on her Spotify, so I hear it a lot on car rides. But no, Humans vs. Zombies, and whenever we played that in college, and you had to sign up. It wasn't the whole university, but it was really fun. And we had about 100 people signed up, and there were original zombies who... There were 4 of them, and you could sign up to be one, and you had to tag somebody to get, like, to turn them into a zombie. And this game lasted for a week. And there were some rules, like you couldn't play in buildings itself. Every building was a safe space. So that way, and because it promoted that you can't play the game during class and disrupt classes, you have to do it outside, which I support wholeheartedly. I 100% support that. It also made it like fair. It made it very fair. But if you had a class with somebody who was a zombie or something, there was nothing stopping them from like following you out. And I remember there was this one guy, and like they made a list of like people to tag, and there were a few people. There was this one guy that they had this one guy, and he was like a senior, and so let's go up here. We'll get the iron ball. And he had played every single year he was in school. And he had a reputation. He was never tagged. Not once when he was in school was he ever tagged. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna last. It's okay, I've got... In fact, let me just give myself... No. Like, is there anything in here besides that? I don't know if I should use a potion. I'm not going to use a potion. I'm just going to fly. Because they're not going to touch me. That was almost a bad moment. Okay. That could have been an ouch. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not even gonna entertain the notion. But and people that became zombies back in the game, like that's a stressful situation right there. So I'm gonna have to hurry up and duck in here to get to a safe stop so I can heal. Do I have potions right now? Yes, I have plenty of potions, but I know the save room's close. And I will 100% need all those potions as we make our way through this game. So, I believe this is the save room. Perfect. Yes, it is. But I remember, and he was one of the guys that was never tagged. In 4 years, he was never turned into a zombie. And when I say, and he took his role very seriously. Like, it was, like, we all showed up with our stuff. Like, you needed Nerf guns and stuff to play. So everybody went get, like, a Nerf gun. I had a Nerf gun. Some people bought a couple of Nerf guns just because. This guy showed up in full army gear. Like, I'm talking, he had on camo, face paint. He had multiple guns. Like, he had a Nerf gun behind each shoulder. Like, he had 2 guns strapped on his back. And he carried a 3rd one. Plus, he had a sidearm. And, I mean, he took it seriously. And, like, everyone... And I knew immediately, I'm like, okay, that's my person. That's my friend for this whole time. He's gonna be my friend. And he was in the group that we were in. And, oh, these guys shoot a lot of spores out, so just be careful. They can damage you. But eventually, like, toward a couple of days, like, people just started getting tagged like mad. And there was only a small group that really was holding their own, and we all ended up on a form of a list, which is not the first list I've ever ended up on. I'm definitely sure I'm on a government watch list. If I'm not, it would very much surprise me so. But I ended up on the list of, like, potential targets because I was already starting to develop a reputation for being, like, really good at the game. And what ended up happening was, and I remember, and this was like my crowning achievement. I remember we were in the arcade and someone that was still playing came to let me know, like, hey, I'm just letting you know this. You're at the top of the list right now to get tagged. Like, you have a bounty on your head, and there are a lot of them just waiting for it. Now, there's nothing in here. Absolutely nothing in here. And everyone was like, hey, you are on top of the zombie, like, take list, so watch yourself. And sure enough, like, we were in the arcade area, which was in a bigger building. And sure enough, there were 2 zombies that were in the room with me. And I went walk outside to, like, well, I didn't walk outside the building. I'm not dumb. I'm a lot of things. I'm stupid, not dumb. Big difference. And I went look outside in the main area of the building because it was like a student union type building. And I went look out, and there were like 6 of them. There was like 3 of them actually waiting in the building itself. And I'm like, oh geez, and they were watching. So I went and walked towards the entrance and looked out. There were another like 2 waiting at the entrance for me. And I went check. There was 3 other entrances. I went check the other entrance. There's another group just waiting outside. And I went and looked at the back alleyway through the bookstore. And there's more waiting. And I'm like, oh, well, I've got class. So I'm going to have to just take this L. But, you know, I didn't want to take that L. And what did I do to get out of that situation? Well, I'm going to have to tell you all the next part. So if you want to find out how I escaped from the zombies, you're going to have to tune in to our next part. So thank y'all again for tuning in to Let's Play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is EKI Butters, and I will see y'all in the next part. We will finish this story. I promise.